to another episode of the DewatchPod podcast. I am Jürgen Smorgasbord, and today we have watched another episode of Star Trek, or should I say Dewatched. It is Subspace Rhapsody, and this is a musical episode of Star Trek, as it turns out. And to discuss it, we've got a very special guest on, an expert on musicals, I might even say.
I'm Andrew Lloyd Webber.
No, you're still Jim.
Okay, I'm still Jim with a G.
Yeah, but you're an expert on musicals.
I wouldn't go so far. I actually feel like my musical knowledge is quite deficient, but I do like musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have watched a decent amount.
Yeah, and of course for this format we de-watch things in reverse chronological season order. And for Star Trek, we're just watching the highest and lowest rated episode of a season. Last week we watched what was the episode called?
That's a great question, actually.
Those Old Scientists.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Short for the original series, and Jim, would you guess that between Those Old Scientists and Subspace Rhapsody, which one is the highest rated episode of the season and which one is the lowest rated one?
I think I'm sticking with what I said last time, that I think the last episode was the highest rated, and I have one like just dominating thought here, which is the musical episodes tend to be rated very poorly in like historically and in shows that are not musicals.
And you are correct.
Yes!
Well, I thought that was sort of emotionally hurt you a little bit.
No, like, the people don't know how good they're eating with this episode. I think, okay, shall we do our yes-no so I can start talking?
Yeah, you can watch this episode.
Yeah, you should watch this. This is the best episode of the show.
We don't have any content warnings, because this episode is a lot of sort of emotions and singing.
Yeah.
And not really sort of sex and violence, which is what gets you content warnings.
This is true. Also no drugs. Starfleet is very straight edge.
I mean, they drink alcohol.
I guess.
But not like in a obviously unhealthy way, and it might be synthahol anyway.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
Me neither. It's very unclear, honestly.
Powerful. Anyway, yeah, this is the best episode. I think this might just be the best episode of all of Star Trek, in fact.
Sure. And, I think they're the sort of other component of the concept here is that I don't really like musicals.
Yeah.
And I particularly don't like sort of American standard musical style.
It's interesting you should say that, because I have some thoughts about the style and the setup, but let's wait for that a bit.
I guess we can shoot into a quick summary already.
Indeed. So this episode, Subspace Rhapsody, begins with the squad, the crew, hanging out near a subspace manifold.
No, it's just a regular fold. And they're studying it, and they're like, "Oh, I bet we can like use this to communicate with everyone like really fast."
Mm-hmm.
And who is it? I think it's Uhura that's just like, "Oh yeah, no, why not send like a song in?"
Is that her like the Lanfian? Isn't it the Lanfian? The old lady who goes like, "Hey."
Maybe.
Because I think it's Uhura and Spock being like, "Oh, this shit's so cool."
It might be Palia, one of them. It's like, oh yeah, no, people like music, and the subspace fold really likes music, and it's like, sick. I'm gonna create an improbability field that forces people to sing, and hence we have the setup for the episode. This is actually like a great, like by and large, like a parallel episode to Those Old Scientists.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it has the very similar thing where like the plot itself, there isn't much to it, right?
No.
Like I think we can broadly summarize it as like the subspace fold does the musical, people go like, "Oh shit, we're singing," and then they sort of devise something to
Yeah.
seal it. That sealing turns out to spread it across the entire Federation. Klingons show up to be like, we're gonna blow up the world by shooting at this thing, and then they go, okay, we figured out how to close it.
Yeah, and the Klingons, it is implied, are extremely embarrassed to have the music curse put on them.
They do refer to it as the source of our dishonor, which is like, oh, that's good. That's good.
And there's like I remembered this being longer, but there is just like a quick like Klingon like rap interlude.
It's good. It's really bad and it's so good.
It's very auto-tuned.
Which I don't know why, but I appreciate that. Like, it feels like a throwback to like 2011.
I don't know. I'm not like a big rap head, which is probably due to my extremely white background.
I was just gonna say it's
my
very
white Christian background.
It's very indicative that you call it being a rap head, as if you can just transpose metalhead into different genres. Punkhead, pop. I guess pophead kind of works.
But yeah, no, it's
But the meat of this episode, much like those old scientists, is in the subplots, the character subplots. And yeah, like, what are the main ones here? We definitely, I think the big one that I would almost deign to call the main plot. Oh, well, I guess there are two main plots right here. Main character plots, which is Lon Noonien Singh.
You don't need to say her full name, but yeah, it's Lan.
I wanted to show off to the Star Trek nerds that I'm one of them now. I know a character name.
I think if you were one of them, you would watch more than like at most 3 episodes per season.
Whatever. Does the Star Trek community like this show?
Like a bit.
Okay, cool.
They really hated the other new ones, and this one they're at least lukewarm on, I think, is my general understanding.
Powerful. But yeah, Lon Noonien Singh, recovering from her time travel shenanigans with another Kirk.
Which, like, I think those might have been... I don't even know if those were in this season or not. And that will remain a mystery.
Interesting. And then there's the whole thing between Nurse Chapel
And Spock.
And Spock. And those are like emotional hedging points, right? We have some other...
Yeah.
I guess Pike there's also like a very small subplot about Pike not wanting to vacation with his partner.
Well, yeah, I think like those are like these. I think Spock and La'an are sort of the people with like more stuff going on, and everyone else has like sort of one song, more or less.
Yeah, Una, is that her name?
Una? Yeah.
Una gets 2. Kinda.
Yeah. No, that's
which is odd because she does not feel like the emotional core of this episode.
I mean, I think. Well, it's I think her other song is like also a bit Kirk's song.
Do you mean the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. She has one proper song about her change into becoming like a more personable first officer, I guess. Which she sings to La'an, and I was like, I was waiting like when's the La'an verse coming in? When's like. Is it going to be a bridge? And no, she's just standing there staring. Which is incredibly restrained of her, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so there's that. And yes, specifically we should mention the Spock Chapel thing. So they're
in the process of breaking up, more or less.
Yeah, because Nurse Chapel is getting a cool internship. And Spock is like, please don't leave me. And she goes, but I'm going to...
Yeah, no, me going away for 3 months is enough to fucking terminate this relationship, which is very funny.
Well, I think it's more the like that this is the final drop of like I'm taking this rather than stay and work this out. I am fucking off.
Yeah, no,
you know,
and
it's a symptom.
Like I know people who are like, oh yeah, no, I'm going away from a year, whatever. I'll like quit my job for a bit and follow you. We'll be back. It's whatever. Like you can tank like 3 months easily. Like 3 months,
3 months
is
not that bad.
Yeah, no, like I know people right now who are like, oh yeah, no, you're abroad for 3 months. It's fine. Like it's, it's a bit taxing, but like I don't think like it's a whole year. Maybe we should terminate this relationship.
Yeah.
It is fully just like final straw.
Yeah. And Spock seems to use this as his sort of like well, I'm going back to being a full logic boy. I will never have emotions again, which is
Except for
relatable.
next season.
Of course. But you know what? That fully checks out to me. You know, that's the way you react after your first like bad breakup. Like, it makes sense to me.
Sure. And
I think it's at least within the sphere of possibility.
Okay, this is a bit veering outside the summary already, but I am just like thinking about like humans and Vulcans, right? There's like a very great point made about like their sort of like different experiences of like emotion. There's a lot of emphasis like no, Vulcans like have big feelings and they need big logic to keep it in check.
Yeah.
And humans, or I guess the reference point of regular feelings, regular logic, except I think they're a bit higher up there than they confess.
Maybe. I think the main thing, right, is like different communication styles.
Yeah, I mean,
like, cause I don't know the full backstory behind this, but as we got from those old scientists, Nurse Chapel is trying to teach Spock how to smile and such.
Yeah, no, I've forgotten what the arc is heavily about. But it's not that big a deal. But like what this sort of leads me to think is that like Spock in particular is like handed a pretty raw deal where it's like, hey, listen, right, he's like sure, he is bicultural. Well, no, he's not actually bicultural. He's raised purely Vulcan, which is increasingly confusing. But like his mixed heritage does lead him to just like have a entire like a third, like sure, it's maybe a bit of a midway point, but like a third type of like emotional setup.
Yeah.
That he's just like not given, that he doesn't have a reference point to deal with, because I don't think there is like much of a have Vulcan hey, here's how to deal with our amount of sort of mental emotional turmoil. Like there isn't like a half Vulcan self-help group. He's just like given like, hey, you have a fairly unique sort of emotional experience.
Figure that shit out.
Yeah, good luck, dude.
Yeah.
Which I think there's another big point for him being a bit of a stand-in for the not entirely neurotypical viewers.
I mean, there's that. I think like and like, you know, I can talk about that. I think the other thing that at least to some degree evokes is the idea of like, I don't know, like being biracial. Like that's obvious, but also just like for something in Spock makes me think of like the kids raised on like military bases, you know.
Mm.
Like there's some weird shit going on there, and I can't speak enough to either of those two experiences. But like it's the
there is more Spock in season 1, like more Spock lore. I forget if that is, if I don't know if we'll be seeing that.
Right.
I might need to veto it in. We'll see.
That's fair. But yeah, like it's kind of an interesting experience. Yeah. It's also just like, I don't know, man, like it I don't know what Spock's deal is, but I like the exploration of what's going on there nonetheless. Yeah. And I think this is like Spock's weirdness to me feels like it could reflect a lot of different things, and this is something that I will actually say I think this show does quite well, because sci-fi has a tendency to just be like, hey, these aliens, they're this group of people in the real world, and we're just gonna transplant everything one to one to that. You know, like these androids, they're just racism, you know, stuff like that, right? And we
do have that in some of the Star Trek movies, but yeah.
No, I figured. I mean, like it's a ticking time bomb for any sci-fi piece of media in general. Like, look, I'll say it as I take my usual reference points here. Mass Effect does just do, hey, like, these aliens are being racist against in very familiar ways.
I mean, there is like and this is just like a minor excursion, but like apparently like if you just like look at old Asimov in like its current context, like it is like not just like subtly that. It's not like about like what's artificial intelligence like. No, old Asimov is like extremely explicitly about racism. Like and it's like not subtle. Like like some of the robots are like addressed as like boy, and
Right.
like he is like planting a flag, and yeah, no, like that has like a and like these sort of like but alternate like ways of consciousness. Like it's not like his main point. I don't think.
No, but like I think it is a part of sci-fi
Yeah,
DNA that's very far in there. So
yeah,
like I have to
exactly.
actually say that like I do like Spock here being kind of like something a bit different, like something that seems to sort of float in between a lot of different
Yeah,
potential reference points, right? Like I think that's very cool.
yeah, and I'm trying to think because like I think the other character that we have sort of locked onto a bit, Laan,
Hmm.
also has that. Because her like Spock's two deals are like sort of well, I guess it is just like a very complex sort of biracial, bicultural, uh, like car crash for him.
Yeah, yeah,
With Laan, we have like oh yeah, no, we have big trauma and like weird genetic shit. And yeah, no, like those are the two characters where you're like, oh yes, these are the characters that have the most going on that we therefore like the most.
yeah. Like, and I mean, like for this episode in particular, what the sort of central, and this is quite obvious in a musical themed episode, but the quite obvious thing is like emotional repression,
Yeah,
right? It's like the broad theme here, and I think that's like that shows up very frequently in musical episodes of otherwise non-musical shows. That is like because musicals are so much about heightened emotion.
yeah,
Um, like the point where this shows up like when you apply musical logic to a non-musical world, you get like, oh shit, a lot of stuff is coming out, which is largely, I suppose, that is kind of the main plot of this episode, is the danger of that.
mm,
So it makes sense to focus on the ones that are dealing a bit more with like emotional repression and like the stuff that goes unsaid. Um, like I, it makes sense for Laan, who has this like she has the first. I mentioned this during the episode. Like she has the first like big "I Want" song, where she's
mm,
kind of like debating about whether she could be less strict, like less disciplined.
yeah.
Seemed to be the general theme of her thing. You have obviously have
I think
Spock.
it's called Flying Blind.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of musical songs have like slashes in their names to
Hmm,
be like there are multiple ones. I was
yeah,
thinking about that. But yeah, like so you have Lon, you have Spock, who is very obvious in this regard, where he goes like, "Oh, I see that Nurse Chapel has received a big email. Can you look? No, you shouldn't look at it, but like I kind of want to know. But I shouldn't talk to her about it, right?
yeah.
Talking to her would be weird. Um,
It turns out, yeah.
yeah, and obviously, like Nurse Chapel, despite from what I gather being a bit more generally emotionally open than Spock, low bar, but like
Yeah,
she's still there. She's still like hesitating about telling him this because like this is where she'll break it off, right?
yeah,
You always have Pike, who is concealing something very trivial, which he doesn't like their vacation destination.
yeah. No,
Like,
it's like a sort of touristy museum thing,
yeah,
and he's like, "Ah, Captain Battelle." I think this is one of the. We both quite enjoyed this moment where it's like they're both really fighting. And the song is like actually interrupted, where they're just like trying to not have a fight in front of like Pike's crew.
the repeated chorus is "This is a private conversation" as they're standing on their respective star decks.
I think Battelle is actually just in her room.
Okay, maybe yeah. But
But
Pike is not.
yeah, no, and Laan like finally comes to the rescue and is like and terminates the link, while everyone else is just like fucking like goosenecking like what's going on here?
It's a really good number, honestly. I give a lot of credits to that one.
Yeah,
Um,
I think like the other number that is like or the lack of number rather that is we're flagging is Laan's like emotional reveal with Kirk.
yeah, I was thinking about that a lot because like I think right before that scene I predicted like there's gonna be three more songs, and I was right about two of them, But I really thought that was going to be one of them, that she was going to have
Yeah.
like the confession to Kirk. And I suppose the implication here is that because she was actually like just straight up dealing with it, she didn't need the musical subspace magic to
Yeah.
force her to do it. Which is like, that's really interesting. Like that, like I was going to say, but I'm resisting to go into the full like musical discussion here, but one thing I will say is that this feels like an episode made by people who genuinely love musicals.
Yeah, no, there's clearly like enough of them like on the writing staff
Yeah,
to
yeah.
like sort of like tick off all the conventions. And yeah, no, like I think they are doing like a very interesting thing here where it's like, yeah, no. And I think it is like also like a sort of a respectful thing.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, no, we're going to let this character like work through this like complex emotional situation like on her own.
Yeah.
Just at gunpoint.
Yeah, but it checks out, right? Like it's something that still seems to be good for her, right? Like
Yeah.
it's something she acknowledges to be good for her. It's just difficult. So it's a fun contrast. Because like the other ones, as exemplified by Pike, like fucking fight, like wisdom saving after wisdom save, on the space deck. Like everyone else is like being compelled to do this,
Yeah.
and they do not like it.
Yeah. It is the bridge, by the way.
Bridge, there you go. Okay,
Bridge.
thank you.
And yeah, no, it's like who else do we have? We have Uhura.
That was the song that surprised me actually.
Yeah.
It kind of makes like I should have predicted it because like like she hadn't had a song before, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like she is like Mbenga is like the mainest cast member that straight up doesn't get a song.
Yeah, because Kirk gets one with Una.
Yeah.
And obviously he's like supplementary cast or whatever you want to
Yeah,
say.
no, he's definitely less cast than.
Yeah, Mabinga only gets in the finale.
Yeah.
And only a little bit. I was kind of sad. Like I don't know why. I was curious how he would sing and about what.
Yeah.
Because he's
no.
kind of mysterious to me.
Yeah, no, we'll get a little bit more of him.
Powerful. But yeah, I do want to know, Jorgen, as a certified musical hater, what was your experience with this episode?
I mean it dragged a bit, but like it was fun.
Okay, I agree. I think there's some songs that could have been a lot shorter. I think Lawns needed to be like half the length, genuinely. I think that's the biggest offender I can think of. But I like. Can I start going into my rant here?
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is a pretty good musical episode. Like, in fact, I think it might be one of the better musical episodes of non-musical shows I've ever seen.
Yeah, no, and like I do like you can hear like every now and then they're doing a bit much auto-tune, but like it like these are like not actors who were cast for their musical ability, so like there's like a lot of leeway.
Yeah, they held
that's,
up
like,
pretty
fair.
well, I would say.
Yeah.
Like, I think, okay, I will throw out one big criticism, which is that this, especially in the earlier half of this episode, it has a bit of ballad sickness, where every song is like a solo piece about, like a solo ballad.
Yeah.
It's very Dear Evan Hansen for a while there.
Don't be that mean.
In this particular regard, Dear Evan Hansen has so many issues. Ballad sickness is just one of them. But yeah, like it feels, and that I will admit, I was a bit doubtful about this episode because like we have like Una and Kirk's number is not a ballad, but it's close, I would say. La'an's is just like a way too long ballad about her own feelings. Uhura gets hers. Spock's reprise is a bit like that, but I think it works because it's a reprise to a very non-ballad song. So that one fully checks out. But yeah, like there's just a lot in a row. Una's song as well, like the not the one with Kirk, but the one where she's singing at Lon. Like it's a lot of very similar sounding ones.
Yeah.
So like I do pin a bit of criticism there, but like it makes up for it so well with both the grand finale and I want to say the best song, which is Nurse Chapel. She like that song is so good. Like it has energy, it's catchy, it has choreography.
Yeah, she is like I think she is also like one of the best singers on the cast.
Absolutely. And she has a fun voice. Like she's not just doing like I'm belting out my soliloquy here on stage.
Yeah.
Like she's going for it in like a
she's
fun.
doing some work.
Yeah, exactly.
She's doing some dynamic range. Like Ethan Peck or Spock is doing a bit of this as well, and is which and in that sense it does like fit that. Like they're sort of the two like musical leads of the episode because I think they are the best singers.
Yeah. And like the Spock reprise to Nurse Chapel's song, I think elevates both of them really well.
Yeah.
Like the fact that, and like it makes so much sense that Spock would be like, I'm gonna have an emo moment in the engineering bay now. Like, fully checks out, like full points. He makes a dorky point about solving for Y and that he's the X now that he's been dumped. It's charming. I love it.
I don't actually know if that like holds up as a metaphor.
It doesn't make. I thought about it about like what the fuck does that mean? Those are interchangeable, but it is a good pun, so I'll allow it. Like, and it feels like, I don't know. It makes sense. And it doesn't. I don't know. It makes in the universe sense that Spock would say some shit like that. Not just because he's a nerd, but because
he would do it better.
Maybe. But yeah, like I think it broadly works really well, and like I want to emphasize there's a point in the episode where it goes like, well, what are the musical rules? And I go like, well, you sing when you can no longer speak. They don't say it in those exact words. It's a paraphrasing, but that is good knowledge of why musicals are the way they are. I will say another thing. One last thing on like the broad idea of like a musical episode. A lot of shows, when they do their musical episode, like this happens in Buffy, for example, they will be like, oh, there's a demon curse, or in this case, a subspace weirdness that makes us all sing. And what will tend to happen is you will have like a bunch of songs lampshading like, why are we singing? Which they do in this episode. But like it is just treated as a modifier on the episode. Here, in this episode, they actually treat it as a real thing and think about like, what does this mean? Like, what's happening? What are the implications? Because in so many shows where they do a musical episode, it's treated as like an annoying extra thing they have to deal with. Here it is the thing that's about, and it's actually being treated. And like I think that's really cool. Like I was a bit worried about the lampshading, but I actually lay off it and just go like, okay, this is how it is right now. Let's deal with it.
Yeah.
Like I think it just works.
You did want to deduct points for that happened.
Yes, Pike does say that.
Like verbatim, to be clear.
Yeah, so that happened even. Yeah, so like that's really bad. But you know what? They let it go there.
Yeah,
like,
more or less.
Because I think it's the first two songs where they go, oh, why are we singing?
Yeah.
It's the like intro thing, and there's Una and Kirk's song.
And like with the intro song, it's more forgivable because it's a good song.
Yeah, it works, and it's like, yeah, that checks out. But like, so many bad musical episodes will just be like, we're gonna continue lampshading how stupid musicals are throughout the entire. Like, it's irony poisoning, right? Like, it's like you know, some. I'm not into superhero shows myself, but like I have multiple friends who are, and they have reported this is something that a bunch of superhero media does nowadays, where they go like, oh, this is crazy. And I don't just mean Marvel, but like broadly lampshading the superhero genre as a whole. So like I like seeing this, that like, yeah, they react with confusion, and then they're not going to be like, oh, musicals are stupid for the entire rest of the episode.
Yeah, no, I do think one of the things that Star Trek has just like constitutionally resisted is like irony poisoning, because like there is just no way to do Star Trek in an irony poisoned way.
Yeah, I mean it's an archetype, right? Like Star Trek is an archetype of what sci-fi is like. Yeah. So it's unfortunately fertile ground to make fun of, as we saw in Black Mirror. But like, yeah, no, I have to agree that they just like they tanked that, and thank God they did. But yeah, no, like genuinely, I think as far as the musical episode goes, this one is really, really good. Like genuinely, I docked in my head as well a few points for like the Una and Kirk song where they rhyme like world and told, and I'm like, that's not correct. Like you can bend it.
The rhyming police is in town.
Yes, because they very much established that that's a rhyming couplet song. and then they'd fuck it up, and that's what makes it stand out. Like, they don't always do rhyming in these, like continuous rhyming in these songs, but they did very clearly establish that. And you can bend that, right?
Yeah.
You can make a lot of stuff rhyme with a lot of other stuff, but they didn't.
I will say, like, one thing I do think this episode genuinely suffers from. It's just, like, they shouldn't be including the entire cast, right? They're only, like, skipping over Mbenga, who, like, is, like, not that big a role. But, like, they are just, like, making sure everyone gets a song. Which, like, does mean the episode, like, doesn't have that much room to breathe. Like, I think, like, those old scientists also, like, suffered from this. Where it's like, oh yeah, no, we have, like, a thing, and we're just going to, like, bounce that against every character and move on.
I see what you mean. I think it makes more sense for those old scientists than here. I will say, like... You know, like if you're like, hey, we found a crystal ball that looks into your future.
Well, those old scientists has, like, another protagonist who's, like, sort of rushing through and, like, bonking against everyone else. Here the protagonist is just the music, and the music, like, doesn't have, like, its own shit going on.
Yeah.
Whereas Boimler does.
Yeah, I would say, like, I feel like in my head, if I was structuring this episode, I would throw around a few different songs. Like, I don't think the Una solo does a lot. You know? Like, I think she already establishes what she's about in her song with Kirk. Genuinely. Yeah. The other one is, like, I feel like the Uhura song is kind of strange, because, like, in my mind, her number is the finale. And I think, if anything, like, because Uhura's role in this kind of comes as a surprise. Like, she's not focused on for, like, the first episode.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like, as they mentioned in the episode, she's the communications officer. Of course, she would be the one, like, looking for these sort of, like, linguistic patterns.
Yeah, no, like, it's quite odd, right? Because we have, like, sort of the emotional plots, which are Spock and La'an. And those are kind of moved through and, like, somewhat resolved. And then it's like, anyway... Now to do the sort of mechanical plot, and hey, Uhura gets a moment where it's like, yeah, no, I am actually good being a bit more solo.
But yeah, like, it doesn't resonate that well, I think, because the fact, like, I don't know enough about Uhura to speak to her character, but the fact that she makes a song where she first laments about her, like, having to be solo, and then embraces it, and then goes on to lead the ensemble, like the big ensemble piece, like those are contradictory. That's not irony. That's just fucking up the structure here. Like, if you just had a lament, that would work.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bit odd for her to suddenly have it, but like it checks out. Like, I would have liked to see it more built up earlier in the episode. It's like, oh, like, Captain, can I have someone else work with me on this? No, you do it solo. Or
I mean, I think. Like, it feels like the way this episode was done is that, like, they, like, wrote the songs for the characters and then sort of, like, connected the lines. And then they were like, alright, finale. I guess we've resolved this already, but let's do it over. For her. But, yeah, no, like, what are we thinking, like, this episode is saying?
I mean, it's a lot about emotions. Like, it's about a lot about, like, emotional repression and, like, the things that honesty pulls apart but can also draw together, I think. And, like, I will fully admit, and this is gonna sound mean, I'm not super interested in the themes on this one, because they're a bit Saturday morning cartoon themes, and that's fine. Like, not every... We've been so poisoned by Black Mirror making grand statements every minute that, like, other shows can exist. We can have these more basic things. I think it does it fairly well, to its credit. But I don't think it's particularly complicated. Like this is a thing we know, right? Like, there's no... As much as this is taught from age 3 to the day you fucking die in media, emotional honesty... complicated, but broadly good to do in the long run. Yeah, that's not... Yeah, like, there are exceptions, but, like, broadly, that makes sense as a moral.
Yeah, no, like, either you can continue a relationship at a higher standard, or you can fuck off.
Yeah.
know?
Stuff like that, and, like, Pike having the aspect of, like, hey, like, sometimes you have to disappoint your partner slightly. That's fine.
Yeah.
You can tank that. Hopefully. And if you can't, like, maybe that's not a great relationship, but
Well, I mean,
more complicated stuff.
we do like get like um the end of this episode like sort of like points toward the next episode, which like sets up her big plot, which like ends in season 3.
Her being...
Batel.
Okay, huh?
Which I guess we shouldn't go over because we haven't like touched it much.
Okay.
But yeah, no, like I guess that is like sort of the long and short of it. Like it's a competent musical episode, with like some very straightforward, like it is like fairly emotionally like thematically congruent despite being a bit scattered in terms of character focus.
For sure.
Like a lot of people going like, yeah, no, I guess I should probably deal with these feelings I have.
Or
And make
Spock going, fuck that.
Yeah, no, I mean Spock's got like more season 2. Sulkin.
Yeah. Like Spock is being set up for like the start of his plot rather than the end of his, right, in a way.
Well, kind of. It's like he has a meta plot rather than like a yeah, no, this is like a midpoint for him.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Like because I'm just talking about the functionality of this episode in isolation for Spock, right? It's like the breakup as an impetus for change in him.
No.
Probably currently for the worse, it seems like. But I won't go into Vulcan shit because I don't know enough about Vulcans.
I mean, it's not that deep. Like if you start looking for the lore, I think you very easily like miss what's going on in front of your face.
That's fair.
So like I think face value is very valuable.
I guess I could say.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like genuinely, I would go so far as I just think this is like a very, very good musical episode. Like, and it pays its respect to real musicals by having some absolute bangers and some pretty shit songs, some very forgettable stuff. So you know what? They really capture the feel.
I guess too. Like, and like they are also like quite like plain in like making the point quite openly, right? With like, hey, music can divide, but it can also unite. And by music in this case, we mean both actual music and the emotional openness it brings.
Yeah.
Like it's a very straightforward analogy.
Can music itself divide, though? Because we don't really get an example of the music being the dividing force.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I mean, the music, I think, in this case, is just fully entangled with the emotionals.
I mean, it's just a stand, or not a stand. I guess it's just
a facilitator.
Yeah, I was just curious because we have
catalyst.
We have a Who are making a little speech about how you can use song to celebrate. You can use song to coordinate rowers on a ship. I was just kind of curious, because I think if we get music as a source of conflict here, it's the Klingons. Coming in with their rap interlude in the finale.
Well, I mean, it is the Klingons, it's Chapel, it's Batel, right? All of those relationships are being zapped.
I suppose. Yeah.
Like, I think that is what they're going for, right? Like, all these relationships, like, sort of getting on the rocks because of music, and then going like, all right, now, we're going to have a sing-to song together.
Yeah.
And they'll fix the music, and then we can. I guess there is just like a certain element, and I think like the Pike Batel relationship is the one that actually brings this forth, where it's like, yeah, no, like there is like this mixture of like, hey, emotional openness, but then also just like taking the like heat off like 10 degrees, and just being like, hey, What was that about?
Yeah.
Now that the music has stopped, like, let's talk through this like adults.
As much as I think Chapel Nurse's song is by far the best song in this episode,
It's Nurse Chapel.
did I
Nurse
say
Christine Chapel.
what
You
did I
said
say?
Chapel Nurse.
Fuck. Um,
Go on.
um, I do think the Pike Battelle little thing that doesn't become a full number is also just like absolutely sick. Like
Yeah.
there's because we talked about the part where they're just like really trying to tank the like let's not get this conversation out. But there's also the part where like at the start Battelle is like, why am I singing? And Pike goes like, we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, don't run away from this motherfucker.
Like it is just like the musical argument like is like quite interesting, right? Because like I forget. I think this is like one of the things I have just like filed away deep from like years ago in academia, where like one definition of conflict is the is making addressing someone's like non-reply.
Ah.
So like as long as like you can have like functioning semi more or less communication, if you just like say something, get ignored, go like, oh, whatever, but as soon as someone's like, hey, don't ignore me, like that's the conflict switch. And like I do think that is just like a very strong functional definition, and it is just like the sort of like the sort of escalatory logic of conflict of going like, no, get right back here, we do not turn this like off, is like extremely like present in this episode.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I do also just wanna emphasize the part where like, Pike and Battelle are doing the thing where they're like trying to restrain themselves while still wanting to have this conversation. And then there's like just before like Lon just cuts the feed, Pike like drops to his knees ready to like belt something out, and it's so good. Like that,
Yeah.
such a good physical acting.
It is. You did mention in the beginning that it would be funny if Pike didn't sing, and like I'm quite annoyed that he never got a full song,
Yeah.
because like I just want to know what he sounds
He
like.
sings really interestingly, I want to say. Like I pointed
Yeah.
out, he has like a grease feeling to him when he starts singing, and I don't know quite what it was because we didn't get quite enough of
Yeah,
it.
no, but like especially during the finale, he has like he like does some good voice work.
Yeah, for sure. Other points on the topic of like the sort of ambivalence of the emotional conflicts here is still a good one. Like Uhura and Spock realize like, okay, like we need to analyze the songs, and to do that we need to bring out strong emotion. And he just goes, "I'm gonna see my complicated girlfriend," and it just triggers immediately, basically.
That one's funny because, like Uhura is the one who like makes the call of like, we're going in,
Yeah.
but Spock does just go like, I guess I will like jeopardize my relationship in public on the altar of like figuring this out.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think that's something the episode wants us to think about, but like, what the fuck?
I don't know. Like I feel like it's the kind of complicated situation when you're like in denial about something, like a little bit in denial about finding something out that may hurt you,
Yeah.
right? Like it's I got an email from like a university I was applying to. I'm just gonna let it sit there for a bit, and when I open it, it'll probably be great, but I don't want to find out yet. So like the moment where you pressure to do it, like I feel like Spock just goes into full denial of it's fine, it'll turn out great.
But then he is like, hey, why didn't you fucking tell
Yeah.
me? What the fuck are you doing?
And that's when
then she's
reality-
like, it's great, I fucking want this. You're in my past. I am moving on.
That is reality
In a
coming
big
crashing
musical
through.
number, and guess what? I'm good at singing.
That's gonna hurt extra, right? Like if the song of rejecting you kind of sucks, like that would be fine. But when she's absolutely nailing it and the entire cafeteria is dancing with her,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, adds some extra edge to the knife.
Yeah, no, like, what if she just sucked and it was like, oh, yeah, no. I guess I'm glad I'm over that musical dud. But yeah, no.
No, I love this episode. I think it's better than the other one.
Do we have any other thoughts left? I'm trying to.
No, the only thing I was like, part of me is like, I wonder if this is like setting up for a Star Trek musical, but that's probably being a bit optimistic.
I think it is just a musical episode.
Yeah.
I think if it had done really well, maybe it would have sown some seeds. But it did, audience-wise, very poorly.
What is the rating of this?
I think it's not actually that bad. I think it's like a 6.8 or something.
That still kind of makes me sad in a way, because like I'm being very genuine. This is one of the best like executed musical episode concepts I've seen in a long, long time. So it's kind of sad that not even that gets through the general musical hate. Like I kind of get it, but you know.
I mean, like, what can you do, right? With like, hey, we have a cast of people who were not cast for this. Like, you only have so much room, right? Your writer's room isn't going to have like, yeah. Oh, I actually had it on deck 6.8.
Wow.
Right, like one thing I think that would probably make me far more amenable to any musical if it just like has more variety than like American standard, just like stylistically, like yeah, no, we've got like some blues, some just like different styles of music.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, no, it makes me a little sad. But like 6.8 is not terrible.
Yeah, no, like this season is, I'm confident to say like the highest rated season of Strange New Worlds.
Makes sense.
Like to give you a quick visual, a lot of top rated labels here, right? This is
Yeah.
This may be where the season nominally peaked.
Fair.
Or this show will, but there's 2 more seasons commissioned, so.
Wow, so we're gonna get season 5.
Well, I think so at least.
Okay, gotcha.
But I haven't like independently confirmed this. I'm just going off how many season tabs there are in IMDb.
Fair. But yeah, no, like I'm happy with this episode, and it's nice that this is the worst rated episode in a certain sense of the word. You know?
Yeah, no, like it. There's definitely no like deep low points in this season, which I'm quite fond of.
Yeah.
Especially given the lows that season 3 sings to, of not saying something when talking about.
We've moved past that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Next time we shall return to where it all began. Season 1 of the latest show of Star Trek.
Yeah. And we'll actually have I think his name is Hammer. We have like 1 or 2 cast changes.
Interesting.
So yeah. Look forward to that.
And we'll see you on the other side.
See you on the other side, dear listeners.